Hello, boys and girls. My name is Miss Green, and today I am going to be doing shared reading with y'all. And today we're going to be focusing on the skill that you learned today called Retell. So we're going to go, and all of our questions are going to be about how to retell the story. We're going to be thinking about retelling the story. Okay? You've already talked about this with your teacher. So we're going to go ahead and go to the story to read. We're going to be reading a folktale called Kitoto the Mighty. With your teacher, you already know what a folktale is. We know that it's a traditional story, and that it's going to have literary elements. It's going to have a character, setting, plot. So it's a fiction kind of story that we're going to read. And in a folktale, normally somebody learns a lesson, and it's going to include different kinds of characters, creatures with special abilities, and things like that. So we're going to be looking for that. So as we read today, we're going to make sure that we are thinking about how we retell the story. Kitoto the Mighty. High in the sky, a hawk circled and searched. Then swift as an arrow, he dropped to the ground. Barely ahead of the hawk's claws, Kitoto darted into a bush. The little mouse, who had never learned to dig burrows, hid there with nothing to eat all day. The next morning, before the sun was up, or the hawk awoke, Kitoto scurried hungrily across the savannah. He found a fallen baobab fruit, but another creature had seen it first, and the delicious seeds were gone. That is when the hungry little mouse heard the sound of a big, rushing river. Cautiously he approached the river bank and watched the angry waters sweep away huge trees and rocks. How powerful this river is, thought Kitoto, and he had an idea. I am Kitoto the mouse, small and weak, he cried to the river. I wish to make friends with you. With a friend like you to protect me, I won't have to go hungry for fear of the hawk. You must be most powerful of all beings. Not so, roared the river. The sun can protect you better, for he is far more powerful than I. He burns me to a trickle in the dry season. The sun is the most powerful being. So I'm just thinking, I want to make sure that I understood the first page. So I'm going to just summarize and retell it in my head, so that I can make sure that I understand. So I can also use illustrations to help me retell. So I see, so my retelling, I think, okay, the hawk catches Kitoto, which makes him too scared to go out to get food because he is scared that the hawk is going to get him. So he loses out on some food, and then that's when he sees the river. Because he's so hungry, he decides that he's going to ask the river to be friends. But then the river tells him that the sun can protect him, because he's most powerful. Okay, so now that I understand what I just read, boys and girls, I can make sure that I can go on. So we retell, we can make sure we understand what we just read. The river wove a beautiful nest of steam, placed Kitoto inside, and gently blew it above the trees and mountains into the soft sunlight. Why, I am bigger than the savannah, Kitoto marveled, as the earth below grew smaller and smaller. He felt very pleased with himself. Still, he had never in his life imagined making friends with one as powerful as the sun. I must do my best to impress him, Kitoto decided. As he arrived at the sun's home late in the day, sparks swirled as the weary sun stoked and fanned his dying log fire. Kitoto puffed himself up importantly. I am Kitoto, the mighty master of the savannah, he announced. I wish to make friends with the most powerful being. I thought it was the river, but no, the river tells me it is you. The sun, wrapped in a blanket, shivered in the chill of dusk. Not so, he replied. There is one far more powerful than I, who gathers the clouds and hides the savannah from my view. The wind is the most powerful being. Okay, so now, so far, the the river has told the sun that the river has told Kitoto that the sun is the most powerful being. The sun is saying that the wind is the most powerful being. So I'm starting to wonder, boys and girls, what is the most powerful being? All right. Who is the most powerful being, and who does the sun send the mouse to? Right. The wind, right? So let's see what the wind says. In the morning, the sun sent Kitoto across the heavens on a beam from a fresh log fire. Kitoto peered at the savannah, small as a nut, far, far below, and felt very grand indeed. He found the wind hard at work tugging the clouds together. I am Kitoto, the great king of the savannah, he declared. I wish to make friends with the most powerful being. I thought it was the river, who told me it was the sun, but no, the sun tells me it is you. Not so, replied the wind. There is one more powerful than I, one I cannot tug with my strong braids. However hard I try, the mountain is the most powerful being. Okay, so now I'm thinking, I want you guys to stop and think about how you could retell this part of the story. What happens on these 2 pages? On this page, what happens? Can you retell it? Okay, I'm going to give you some time to type in a retell about what happens. Okay, great. So basically, boys and girls, your retell should have said that Kitoto is sent by the sun to the wind, and the wind tells the sun, tells Kitoto that the mountain is the most powerful being. So that's what your retell should have said. Okay? With the longest of her braids, the wind swung Kito away to a distant mountain peak. I am Kitoto, the magnificent emperor of the savannah, the little mouse proclaimed to the mountain. I wish to make friends with the most powerful being. I thought it was the river, who told me it was the sun, who told me it was the wind, but no, the wind tells me it is you. Not so, thundered the majestic mountain. There is one far more powerful than I, who chomps away at my root. Surely this creature, who I have never felt but never seen, must be the most powerful being of all. Oh, boys and girls, I'm wondering who could it be that's the most powerful? Thinking, who is it going to be? That's kind of weird too. Let's look at this mountain. I'm wondering why this mountain has a face. Why do you think the author would give this mountain a face? I don't know. Then the mountain rumbled and opened wide, allowing Kitoto to enter. Down, down Kitoto scampered through the dark pathways, deep to the root of the mountain. There he found himself in a huge maze of tunnels, archways, halls, and chambers. The walls were cool and smooth and smelled pleasantly. Tiny, shiny pebbles lit the way. At every bend, Kitoto expected to see a giant loom before him. But for a giant it must be, he thought, to carve such a world out of the mountain. A sound from the shadows startled him in his fear. Kitoto forgot to be mighty, or great, master, king, or emperor. "Please do not harm me," he pleaded with the unseen giant. "It is only Kitoto the mouse, small and weak. I wish to make friends with you, the most powerful of all beings. With you to protect me, I won't have to go hungry for fear of the hawk." Kitoto waited, trembling. From the shadows, a figure stepped forward. Uh-oh. Who's it gonna be? Kitoto stared in amazement as the figure bowed. "I am Kigogo, the mountain mouse. Welcome to my home." "Your home? You built all this?" Kitoto asked. "The paths, the tunnels, everything?" "Everything," replied Kijigo, "with nothing more than my teeth and a lot of hard work." Her eyes glowed proudly. "Come." Like old friends, the two mice explored the winding paths. They enjoyed a game of hide and seek in the mazes. They played catch with shiny pebbles. Then they fell asleep on cushions of soft earth. When they awoke, Kijigo unearthed a sumptuous hoard of bulbs, tubers, and roots. "I'll teach you the secrets of the ground," she promised, chuckling. Kitoto chuckled back and said, "And I will teach you the secrets of the savannah." High in the sky, a hawk circled and searched. Deep at the root of a mountain, two friends chewed merrily away, and after the hawk had gone to sleep, they to ventured out to enjoy the sweet, cool night air. To this very day, few would guess that the mouse is the most powerful being on the big, wide savannah. But the rushing river, the weary sun, the tugging wind, even the majestic mountain will tell you this is so. Oh, boys and girls, I really like that story. So now, boys and girls, you will have some more work to do, maybe a discussion on Kitoto the Mighty. Um, your teacher will make sure that you have that assignment and make sure that you complete all of your work and have a good day. Bye. Nice reading with you.